And good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. We've got a big college football kickoff party this afternoon at Aplos in the Renaissance. So Patron, margarita specials, pizza specials, and y'all can all come out and tell us how many games your team is going to win and who all you're going to bet on throughout the year and where you're going to go as far as road trips. Aplos in the Renaissance, 4 to 6 this afternoon, happy hour specials presented by Patron, 100% blue agave, super premium tequila. Jackson and I will be there. Can't wait to see you. Our next interview is brought to you by Two Brothers in Starkville, Mississippi. Amazing tacos, street tacos, bacon mac, great atmosphere. And then they just opened Older Brother, which is a high-end bistro right across the alleyway there in Stark Vegas, and they're ready for football season. It will be here before we know it, as our next guest knows. And this interview is brought to you by Two Brothers in Starkville and their new spot, Older Brother, high-end bistro there in Starkville. We welcome in Jeff Lebby, Hell State football coach on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Jeff Lebby, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. We're doing good. We just started a big career fair over here. We got 34 companies. Our guys are right in the middle of it, so it's been a great morning.
That's cool. So what about SEC Media Days in your home state? That's your stomping ground. Did it not surprise you? Did it surprise you how much media were out there? You know, what was your takeaway after going through that deal for several hours last week?
Yeah, it really was. It was a great day. You know, I thought our guys did a great job, and just love the fact that we were able to go represent state, you know, and I think I mentioned it in the opening statement. Pretty cool that we're able to be in Dallas and, you know, obviously Dak City, and that's our guys. So pretty neat to be able to go kick it off that way for me and for us. And it was a great day.
Now, how far did you grow up from Dallas?
Yeah, growing up in West Texas, so that's out Andrews, Odessa, Midland. That's really 6 hours from where we were.
Damn.
Due west, yes, sir. And you can drive another 6 and still be in the state, which is pretty incredible. But we were far west growing up from Dallas.
Okay, so were you closer to Lubbock? I mean, am I in the right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. I was just south of Lubbock.
Okay. All right, man. So what year you signed with Oklahoma in like 2003 or 4? Do I have that right?
Yeah, 02.
02. So when you were growing up, Leach was hit. So Leach left Oklahoma and took the tech job and got it rolling fast. And so you kind of lived. I mean, your dad was a high school football coach, and Leach was hitting his stride at Texas Tech, right?
That's exactly right. You know, I actually grew up going to Tech games. That's actually how I was raised, was on Texas Tech football, and then ended up going to Oklahoma.
Okay, so you were raised on Sonny Dykes or Spike Dykes.
Spike. That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Spike Dykes that's so cool. And then Leach takes over, and he had been to Oklahoma, which is where you end up, but then he took the Tech job and starts beating top 5 and top 10 teams. All right. That's pretty neat right there. Jeff Lebby on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Did Leach and that staff recruit you, Jeff?
Yes, absolutely. I can remember sitting in Coach Leach's office probably a month after he got the job. So, yeah, absolutely he did. I've got great memories of being over there as he was just getting that thing going. No doubt about it.
Who were the final, or how about this? Give me the 3 or 4 teams that recruited you the hardest out of high school.
Oklahoma and Texas and A&M was kind of the thought for me as I was coming out of high school. You know, I thought about staying in state and going to one of those two, and then just ended up loving Coach Stoops and his journey and who he was. And obviously Oklahoma had just won the national championship in 2000, so that was a big part of it, their success at the time. But those were the three schools I was really trying to figure out between.
Okay. Who was your
Yeah.
lead recruiter at Oklahoma?
Kel Gundy.
Oh, nice. He's a hell of a football coach. Okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
cool. So Lee, all right, during that time, let me go back, early 2000s. So you got Mac Brown at Texas. Francione went to Bama for a hiccup, but then he went to A&M at some point, and then
that's right.
And then you had Stoops, who just right out of the gate started winning, and then you had Leach, who was winning. That's a pretty cool time in Texas in the early 2000s, or Texas/Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
So as an Oklahoma Sooner, you learned to dislike Texas pretty quick when you got on the campus in Norman, right?
That's kind of part of being on that campus. That kind of comes with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. So we try to monitor not everything you talk about in the media, but a lot. Okay. And so when I see you get interviewed by someone, we're reading it, thinking about it. And like every time somebody's asked you about Blake Shapen, you like this guy. And then I told you this a couple months ago. I asked Tom Luganbill and other people in the business, and they're like, this dude can play. When he's healthy, dude can ball. And he didn't have a lot of help in front of him at Baylor. So when you comp him, give me a profile of like who he reminds you of, Coach, that either you have coached or that maybe we have watched play in the college game.
Yeah, I think it's been the comparison for me is Matt Corral. They're very similar from an arm talent standpoint. They're very similar from an athleticism standpoint. And, the thing that I love about Matt is something I love about Blake is their toughness, their edge, their demeanor, and, man, how they're going to inspire their teammates to play their butt off. And so there's no doubt those are the guys – or that's the guy that he is most similar to as I've gone through this thing, and I think people will see that this fall.
He's a guy that when things break down, he can pull the football down and go get you 6, 7, 8 yards.
Yeah, and he can, if we're in a bad situation, he's going to have the ability to get us back into a manageable situation or even a good situation. So that's obviously that's going to be part of it. And the league that we play in, there's going to be times when it's not perfect, but not having to take negative plays and being able to create positive plays when things aren't perfect is a big part of it. And Blake's going to be able to do that. So
are you okay, let's just say, between maybe a called run or two and also, like I said, people running around with their back to him and he pulls it down and runs it? Are you okay with, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a game?
Yeah, I am. I'm okay with him doing whatever we need to do to win a football game. And that's how he feels. He feels the exact same way. And then, you move on from there. You got to be incredibly calculated on how many times he is running it, but there's going to be times that present themselves where he's got to go get a first down or he's got to go score a touchdown in a certain situation, and he's going to be able to do those things. So, again, that's one of the things I love about him the most is, man, for him, the answer is going to be yes, and let's fight our butt off to go win.
What is your ideal run-pass ratio in a game?
Yeah, ideally want to be incredibly balanced. Literally want to be 50-50. We want to have great balance inside of how we play offensively. I think our best units have shown that, dating all the way back to the best units was able to be a part of it at Baylor. There's been incredible balance inside this system and over the years.
Jeff Lebby, Hail State football coach on the Out of Bounds show, first year. They'll get started here in a little over a month. Fall camp starts. When does fall camp start, Coach?
Yeah, our first practice will be next Thursday, a week from today.
Dang. Right around the corner. Okay.
Yeah, it's here.
All right, Labor Day weekend, Eastern Kentucky, Davis-Wade Stadium, Jeff Lebby's debut. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line, and you're listening to ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Now, Coach, Blake Shapen was thrown into the mix early in his career. And I went back, I was watching that Big 12 championship. He made some damn good plays as a young dude.
Yeah.
So when you got him and y'all started getting together and you're before spring practice and then you're going through spring practice, was it a deal, Coach, where you were throwing things at him and you could tell, hey, this is a guy who's played a lot of football and we're able to expedite what we're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, and of course I knew that going into it before I got him because I'd seen him. I'd seen him in person a couple of different times, so I had great familiarity with who he was as a player, and then just talking to people that had been around him. Again, everybody that had been around him said the exact same thing. Like, you're gonna absolutely love this guy, and this is 100% your type of guy. So I felt great about who we were getting, so knew that we were going to be able to push the envelope and install the way we needed to be able to get us off the ground year one, without a doubt.
That's awesome. Jeff Lebby on the Out of Bounds show. So this is a dream come true for you, right? You're a head coach, Power 5. You've coached under amazing people for years. You grew up as a coach's son. You got to sign with the Blue Blood. Are you like chomping at the bit right now? I mean, you've already been through spring, and I know you've been through a million practices as an offensive coordinator, but now that you're the head coach, are you just chomping at the bit to get going next Thursday?
I'm really excited. I think everybody in our building is really excited. To me, there's great energy around the program. There's great energy inside our community. And so I'm ready to hit the field. Our guys have worked their butt off to be able to put themselves in position to go have a great fall camp, which will give us a chance to get done what we want to get done year one and continue to lay the foundation. But I am incredibly excited to get started.
All right, I know you got to go. One more. Who, outside of Shapen, who was your biggest playmaker in the spring on offense, Coach?
Yeah, that's going to be close. It's either going to be Kevin Coleman or J-Mo, one of those two guys, and then Kelly would be a close third as well. I think we've got some guys on the perimeter that can go play with Sadu at tight end, and these three receivers, Kevin, Kelly, and J-Mo. All these guys, I think, got a chance to get done what we want to get done. I really do. They've all played, and they're mature. They're older guys, and I think we know what we're going to get with them. So I'm excited about all four of those guys.
And on defense, last one, Travion Williams, John Lewis, someone else. Who did you feel like was your biggest playmaker in the last few scrimmages in the spring?
Bralo Lanier and Stone Blanton, those two guys have
really
good springs. But both of those guys, again, with J. Lou and then Trey and KJ up front, I think we've done a nice job from a portal standpoint. The middle of our defense, I think, has got a chance to be stout for us, and it's going to be fun to see that part of it in camp.
Jeff Lebby on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Coach, we appreciate you stopping by today. I know you got a big day today and the big cookout, I think, tomorrow. We hope to get you one more time before Labor Day, but we appreciate it.
All right, Bo. Thank you, man. Y'all have a great one.
Jeff Lebby, Hail State football coach on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. The interview was brought to you by two brothers and their famous Bacon Mac and their pimento cheese fritters and their street tacos. And Jackson Meadows has to come up there with me and try that Bacon Mac. Also, their new restaurant, Older Brother, which is maybe 10 yards from Two Brothers. And it's a high-end bistro, wonderful appetizers, entrees, and sandwiches. Barton Dinkins and the team, Two Brothers and Older Brother, right there in Stark Vegas, Mississippi. Jeff Lebby from Baylor, Central Florida, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma. So He's been under some unbelievable offensive minds, and he is the new head coach. Zach Selman felt like, hey, I got to go offense. I got to go with a guy who can coach the quarterback position. We got to score points. We have to be exciting. And the way to expedite the rebuild is to get good on offense quick. Defense will take care of itself. Maybe not this year, but they've been good on defense for 50 or 60 years. Mullen made them better on offense. Leach made them better on offense. You can tell, man, he likes Blake Shapen. I know Ole Miss is the story of the state, and they should be. They've deserved it. What Kiffin's done is unbelievable. And Dart is a dude, and some people think he's top 3, 4, 5, or at least 7, 8 in the country.
Oh, yeah.
But when I ask him to kind of comp profile Blake Shapen, and he says Matt Corral, because if you listen to this show, you know what I thought about Matt Corral. He was unbelievable. He was top 1% when he was playing college football. Mm-hmm. And he expedited Lane Kiffin's deal.
He sure did.
Okay? Lane walked into an NFL quarterback. And, give Phil Longo and Matt Luke credit for going out and getting him when Florida dropped him to go get Emory Jones, which may have been a mistake for Dan Mullen. But Emory Jones was committed to Ohio State. And Dan took y'all remember how this worked. Dan left the day after the Egg Bowl, right? Fitzgerald gets his ankle snapped. Dan actually loses to Matt Luke, which is hard to believe, but Dan got really cute in that game. And Ole Miss won, and Matt made $15 million because of it. Okay. And then Dan goes to Florida. He drops Matt Corral, takes Emory Jones from Ohio State and Urban Meyer. Matt Luke and Phil Longo fly out and seal the deal with Matt Corral. And let me tell you something, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Because Matt Corral was unbelievable. And Jeff Lebby coached him. And he spent even more time with Corral than Kiffin, although they all spent a lot of time together. But as y'all know, Lebby was the offensive coordinator under Lane his first 2 years and then went to Oklahoma for 2 years. How about that? So when you ask him profile comp on Blake Shapen, QB1 in Starkville, he says Matt Corral. Not quite as fast, but still, look, if he's Matt Corral light,
Whoa.
You're going to have fun in Starkville this year, even though they're going to struggle at times. You're going to have some fun. Okay.
You're going to party.
Yeah. And they believe they've got some skill talent too. I know Ole Miss is loaded. They believe they've got some serious skill talent in Starkville. So you're going to score some points. And who knows? You may beat somebody you're not supposed to. We've talked about that. It happens every weekend in college football, so it's not like it can't happen to Jeff Lebby and Blake Shapen in Mississippi State. Just 2 years ago, you won 9 games. Let's not act like you've been winning 3 games a year for 8 years.
Yeah.
Mike Leach beat A&M, Auburn, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Illinois, and Arizona. That's a lot of P5 wins with a solid roster.
Right, at best.
Okay? And a quarterback that was extremely limited, and I love his story. Okay? And he was blessed to have Leach, and hopefully he sees that he was blessed to be able to play on that stage. He was also smart as a whip and super coachable and did what he was supposed to do. But you've got, for the first time, now different stylistically, okay? But for the first time since Nick Fitzgerald, who won't get the credit, he's the leading rusher quarterback-wise in the SEC. I don't care how you do it. If you do it with your legs
don't matter.
or you do it with your arm, if you win and you score touchdowns, then that's what we're trying to do in the red zone. If you're Jackson Dart or Blake Shapen.
He's getting married soon. Big Nicky Fitz.
Fitz is?
I think so. Found him a little girl he's held on to.
You talking about a warrior?
Hey,
that guy got absolutely mauled as much as he ran the football and still was insanely productive.
One of those smart
he broke Tim Tebow's rushing record.
That's right.
You think he had the same players that Tebow had at Florida?
Not a chance.
Okay. So back to Blake Shapen. Jeff Lebby, who has seen it, he's been able to see it at Baylor, RG3 among others. Okay?
Golly.
He got to see it at Central Florida with Heupel. He got to see it at Ole Miss with Corral. He got to see it with Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma. And he says Blake Shapen can play, then Blake Shapen can play.
Simple.
Now, I don't know what you're going to have in some other spots, but they're going to score some points. Now, they may struggle against Georgia. They may struggle against Ole Miss, some of the better teams, but there's going to be, I think, about 8 Saturdays, maybe more, where they're going to have some fun. They may not win all those games. I mean, I'm not predicting 8 wins, but where they score a bunch of points and you have a bunch of fun. Right. Last year wasn't fun, and I'm not blaming that on Zach Arnett. It just wasn't fun. You weren't interesting. We were partying in the suite.
Right.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest.
Because
Wendy looked at me at the end and she went, I had so much fun. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just so glad our friends invited us to a cool spot. Right. Because I'm going to have fun regardless. It's college football. We're going to be betting a little bit. We're going to eat good food. These people are going to cook this brisket chili for Jackson and I.
Hot dog.
We're going to go to the Golden Moon Sportsbook. But we appreciate Lebby stopping by. And making some, hopefully we'll get him one more time.
Yeah, I forgot to tell him about my eligibility.
Well, I was going to get into his music, but we got a text that said he had to run. I was going to get into music and food with him, but you could tell he was.
Oh, he's geared. Yeah, he's moving, chopping them feet.
You know, and next Thursday, a week from today, can you imagine what that feels like as a 39-year-old first-year head coach, knowing that you're going into your first fall camp? He's sleeping with one eye open 3 hours a night.
No question.
Just like Ethan is. He's so excited about his business classes.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, Ethan's going to get up there. He's going to sleep with one eye open at Mississippi State because he's fired up about business management 404.
Say, dude,
or what I just made that up.
He's got some intro to world geography and stuff, man.
Boom.
I know he's ready for that.
Boom. Hey, we want you to come out and see us today at Aplos in the Renaissance from 4 to 6. It's our college football kickoff party. We're going to have several. And it's brought to you by Patron Tequila. Justin and Kevin are going to be making unbelievable margaritas. If you don't like those, you can have a Diet Coke. You can have, it doesn't matter. Come out and see us. They're going to have pizza specials and some other things. Oh, they're giving away some really cool Patron swag.
Nice.
And Patron, like Tito's and Wilderness Trail, just sent us a bunch of cool stuff. These companies have amazing merch and swag. So we'll be at Aplos in the Renaissance from 4 to 6. We're going to have to send Jackson home with a white chicken pizza.
Yeah,
in an Uber. Come see us today. Aplos in the Renaissance, 4 to 6. Aplos it's open to the public. Aplos in the Renaissance, 4 to 6. We're going to have a Patron Pizza college football party. Does that sound fun? It does to me. I hope to see you. If you got 15 minutes, 5 to 5:15, 4:45 to 5:15, whatever it is.
You always got 15 minutes to get swag.
Boom. We are going to have some Patron swag. I think they may be giving away a Patron golf bag.
Look out.
I've got another one back there that we need to give away. Thanks for listening to the show. And the show is brought to you by Superior Foundation. For all your foundation repairs, Superior.ms. We'll see you at Aplos in the Renaissance this afternoon, 4 to 6. Brought to you by Patron.